At the dinner table, my wife's college junior threw a pregnancy cost sheet in front of me. Olivia agreed to be my surrogate. Pregnancy and postpartum care will cost $30,000. You'll split it with me. I stared at my wife, waiting for her to tell me this was some sick joke. Instead, Olivia slid her hand into Julian's and looked me straight in the eye. I promised to carry his baby. As my husband, it's your responsibility to share the cost. Don't try to dodge your duties. At that moment, our 9-year marriage finally made sense. It had all been a joke. Some people simply belonged in the trash. The restaurant table went silent. My parents had been happily raising their glasses to toast my in-laws only seconds earlier. Now both of them froze. I stared at Olivia, still unable to believe what I had heard. She wasn't embarrassed. She wasn't apologizing. She was holding another man's hand in front of both our families, as if I were the unreasonable one. We had been married 9 years and had always lived as dinks. Before our wedding, Olivia had been the one who insisted she never wanted children. I agreed, defended that choice to my parents, and took every hint about grandchildren so she would never have to. Now she was going to carry another man's child, and I was the last person to know. Julian leaned over and kissed the corner of her mouth, then placed a contract on the table. Since Olivia is carrying my child, I have 3 rules. First, you'll take care of her throughout the pregnancy. Second, after she gives birth, she'll stay at my place every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to bond with the baby. You're not allowed to get jealous. Third, my child will be Olivia's sole heir. To protect the inheritance, you'll get a vasectomy. My mother finally snapped. What kind of madness is this? She turned to my in-laws. You're just going to sit there and allow this? Julian smiled. They already agreed. Years ago, the Vances had taken Julian in as an adopted son after his father, Olivia's mentor, died. His father's last wish had supposedly been for Julian to carry on the family line. Apparently, everyone at the table had known about this plan except me. My mother-in-law nodded calmly. Julian's father wanted him to carry on the family line. Olivia is only helping him fulfill that wish. Ethan, you're educated. Surely you understand repaying a life-changing debt. I laughed without humor. You call this repaying a debt? It looks more like a trashy affair. Olivia's face darkened. This is a notification, not a negotiation. Julian is going to be the father of my child. If you insult him again, don't blame me for getting ugly. I stared at her. Say that again. She rolled her eyes. I'm trying to do a good deed. Stop being petty. Julian is brilliant and highly educated. His genes deserve to be passed down. Good genes? You mean his talent for being a homewrecker? Julian's eyes immediately filled with tears. Olivia slammed both hands on the table and stood in front of him. Julian comes from a family of academics. What does a small town nobody like you know about pedigree? Besides, you refuse to have children with me. Why shouldn't I have them with someone else? That was the last thread holding me to this marriage. Before we married, Olivia had sworn she never wanted pregnancy or children. I had never pressured her once. Whenever my parents hinted about grandchildren, I was the one who shut the conversation down and took the blame for our decision. For 9 years, I had protected the life she claimed to want. Now she was using that same choice as proof that I had somehow failed her. I stood and kicked the heavy table over. Plates shattered across the floor, splashing soup over Olivia and Julian. Before Olivia could scream at me, I slapped her across the face. Then I looked at Julian. I'm done with this trash. If you want her, take her. I turned back to Olivia. We're getting divorced. My parents immediately stood and followed me out. Behind us, Olivia screamed, Fine! We'll divorce! I'll live much better without you! I never looked back. After dropping my parents home, I drove to the suburban house Olivia and I shared. My clothes, books, and personal belongings were already scattered across the lawn like garbage. Even boxes of old work files had been thrown into the grass. The digital lock had been changed. Olivia ignored my calls, so I tried FaceTime. Julian answered. He was lying on my bed in my favorite silk robe, the collar open enough to show fresh hickeys.